Well, I must say Wednesday is a typically early winter day, but it stopped raining long enough for me to come into town for my official daily exercise, and I wanted to see how Jem had got on with his repairs to the base of the obelisk erected in 1788, following B&NES going around collecting the money from the various Georgian dignitaries who were in town at that time, erected as a tribute to Prince Frederick, Prince of Wales, the man who was going to become king but didn't, because he was hit in the chest with a cricket ball, it's said, and bled to death. Anyway, that's another story. Jem has sort of cloaked it in sacking. That's probably to let the mortar dry, and also to protect it from frost, no doubt, until the thing hardens. So I can't actually show you the repaired corner, but he did email me this morning to say it all went very well. The patient has no complaints, a strengthened corner. I'm going to go back through Larkhall, because as I was coming through the village, we call it a village in those parts, a huge lorry was just arriving, turning off the London road with lots of concrete road barriers. They are going to replace the plastic ones, the contentious plastic ones that were installed many months ago as part of the social distancing required for shoppers during the pandemic. These concrete blocks will not be able to be moved. Traders were given letters, I think something like 5 weeks ago, telling them the blocks were there to protect their customers. I have managed to get an interview with one of our local councillors, Cllr Joanna Wright, which I'll be playing at the end of this piece to camera, as we call it in the trade. The country finds out tomorrow, district by district, which level of tier it will be in at the end of the second lockdown, which is December 2nd. 1, 2, 3. 3 is high, 1 is low. I think there are people hoping that Baines will be level 2, but the trouble is, I think in the government's eyes, and it is the government that decides, we are linked with Bristol. The rate of infection there is a lot higher, so we could end up with level 3. I am speculating. But I did spend a bit of time this morning to look around the internet, and you know, we mustn't be complacent. There may be vaccines on the horizon, but we've still got this winter to get through. The United Kingdom is third on the list excuse me, of countries when it comes to the amount of infection and the number of deaths. We're third with 1,531,267 infections and 55,327 COVID-related deaths. The US, by the way, is way down the list. In front of us is Mexico and Iran. And those are deaths per 100,000 population. I've mentioned the tier system. I will say, looking at the national figures, despite the fact that the UK is so high internationally, the Southwest is still near the bottom when it comes to infection rates compared to areas like the Northwest, which is very much up there. I'm hearing various rumours about vaccinations and where the centre might be for Baines, from which the operation is conducted and to which maybe many people will have to go. I'm going to sort of not speculate on that just for the moment. I think what I have said will have to do for today. But anyway, let's hand over now to Councillor Jo Wright, talking to me before the concrete blocks arrived. But on my way back, I'm hoping to get lots of pictures of the concrete blocks in situ, which I can add to her interview. Stay strong, stay safe, be careful, and look after others where you can. Bye. Councillor Wright, can I ask you what's happening now in Larkhall? How are things changing?
So we're putting in some concrete bollards between Ma Cuisine and the pharmacy to stop people parking here, so proper social distancing can take place. And people who are particularly queuing here for these shops, as there are more shops open on this side, can feel safe while people move up and down on that side of the road.
Social distancing measures in these parts have been rather contentious.
They have.
How much warning have they had about these more permanent barriers?
So we had quite a few emails from the various traders. I had a walk around with the MP, Vera Hobhouse, the MP for Bath, and we spoke to all the traders. They said that they weren't happy with the various issues going on locally, and could we increase some parking. So we said, okay, we're going to put in concrete ones so nobody can move that. This area has to play a central role in creating social distancing, and we'll give some more parking up here so that the people, if they're doing their quick shop, can still access the shops. And hopefully now the traders, people needing to practice social distancing can do that, and hopefully for the duration of while we're still in the pandemic, everybody will be protected and can help the NHS.
Well, I must say I was going to ask you how permanent an arrangement this is. There may be those who think this is a subtle way of sliding the toe under the door in permanently calming, is that the word, this particular area?
So no, it isn't. It's emergency measures, and we're using these bollards in the short term to place here, but once they're here, we can take them out again at another date and put them somewhere else for our livable neighbourhoods, which we are working to put in place.
A vital shopping facility here, traders working hard to survive.
Yes, they are.
You must have a certain amount of empathy for them and for their concerns.
I really do, but at the end of the day, the real issue is public health. We are in a pandemic, and literally people are dying as we speak. You know, what the numbers yesterday in this country, 608 people died. So if we don't have safe spaces, particularly now around Christmas when people are particularly shopping and queuing outside of these shops, and people can't feel safe locally, then that will affect all of us. So this gives us that social distancing safe space and protects us. There are 2 car parks locally. There is one behind the New Oriel Hall and one behind the Co-op. There is plenty of parking around the area. None of it is residential parking zones. So you can park locally, you can walk to the shops. If you live local, you can walk to the shops. There is a delivery service by most of the shop owners to your door if you need that. So that's what we're going to have to do as a community.
The government will be announcing the tier system and who gets what tomorrow.
Indeed.
Any thoughts on where B&NES will be?
We're very anxious about that, and I don't really want to comment, because we are anxious about where we might sit and who we might be attached to locally, and I'll let you make your own decision around what that could look like.